Dear students, good morning. You are all preparing well for the revision test and the annual examination, public examination. Today I'd like to discuss two more question answers in the sample paper 2 regarding biology, botany. Welcome students. Question number 1 for you. Draw and mark the parts of first cell of male gametophyte. The first cell of the male gametophyte is microspore, and it is the end product of meiotic cell division or microsporogenesis. In the end of microsporogenesis, from a single microspore mother cells, 4 microspores are formed. Then it will become pollen grain. The microspore, outer covering of the microspore, the outer wall is said to be exine, and the inner wall, the intine, and a small pore is seen in the outer wall is called the germ pore, where the concentration of the chemical is somewhat less, and it is with a single nucleus. Microspore, the first cell of the male gametophyte, is unicellular, uninucleate, and haploid in nature. Next question for you. Question number 10. Write short notes on Sonara 64. Sonara 64 or Sonara 64 is a semi-dwarf variety of wheat. And this Sonara 64 introduced from Mexico in the year 1963. It is a high-yielding variety of wheat. Question number 11 for you. What are embryoids, or somatic embryos, or somoclonal embryos? The embryos developed from the somatic cells or the body cells are called the somatic embryos, or somoclonal embryos, or embryoids. The other definition for the same question is the embryo developed from the callus, the undifferentiated and organized mass of cells formed during tissue culture. After differentiation, the embryos developed from the callus, the undifferentiated and organized tissue formed during tissue culture technique. After differentiation, the embryos are called somatic embryos or somoclonal embryos or embryoids. Simply says the embryos developed from the callus tissue after differentiation. You know, differentiation, dedifferentiation, and redifferentiation, the concepts involved in tissue culture. Conversion of genetically similar cells into various tissues is said to be differentiation. What is leaching? You know, decomposers of the organism decompose the dead organic matter, plants and animals. Saprophytes, the organism, derive nutrients from dead organic matter, also called the decomposers. The best examples are fungi and bacteria. Leaching is a movement of decomposed, water-soluble, organic and inorganic compounds from the surface to the lower level of soil is said to be leaching. The movement of decomposed, water-soluble, organic and inorganic compounds from the surface to the lower level of soil is said to be leaching. Next question for you, question number 13. Define heterosis. The superiority of the F1 hybrid, the first filial generation. In performance over its parents is called hybrid vigor or heterosis. The superiority of the F1 generation or hybrid in performance over its parents is called hybrid vigor or heterosis. Here, vigor means increase in growth as well as yield. The last question for you. What will happen when rhizobium bacteria apply to the soil? You know, rhizobium is a root nodule inhabiting bacterium. It leads a symbiotic mode of life. It has got the ability to fix the atmospheric nitrogen in the form of nitrites and nitrates. In turn, it takes food material from the leguminous plants or the plants belongs to Fabaceae family. When rhizobium, the question is what will happen rhizobium bacteria apply to the soil? Rhizobium, here it should be rhizobium, not zoobium. Why zoobium? Rhizobium undergoes multiplication in the soil, then it enters inside the root and stimulate root nodule formation, and finally fixes the atmospheric nitrogen in the form of nitrites and nitrates. So here the word is rhizobium, not zoobium. Rhizobium undergoes multiplication in the soil when applied. Then enter inside the root and stimulate root nodule formation. Finally, the rhizobium in the root nodule fixes the atmospheric nitrogen and in turn take food material from the legumes. Thanks a lot, students. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great day.